Good morning. Welcome to our new spring conference. We meet today with the world perhaps in greater peril than at any time since the Cold War. Relentless drone strikes are hitting our allies in the Middle East, countries in which hundreds of thousands of British citizens are in harm's way. British sovereign territory is under attack for the first time in a generation. And yet in the last few days, Britain has been described as weak. Our allies have accused us of deserting them, of going missing in action. Imagine if you were Cyprus. What have you seen? You've seen Britain dithering over sending the Royal Navy to defend our military base in the Mediterranean. The US, Greece, and France have all sent ships. Ours is stuck in Portsmouth Harbour and apparently may set sail sometime this week. We have made America wait to use our air bases while Iran was hurling drones at our allies. We are giving away the Chagos Islands, British sovereign territory, home to a crucial UK-US defence base, Diego Garcia. No wonder our allies feel they can't rely on us. And it's not just our allies who are watching this, it's our enemies too. As Labour dither and delay, countries hostile to Britain are working to promote their interests over ours. It's not just the regime in Tehran, it's Putin, a man prepared to send more than 1 million Russian soldiers to their death as he tries to march his army across Europe. It's China leading an axis of authoritarian states. Just this week, the husband of a Labour MP was arrested on suspicion of spying for China. As instability spreads, these states are pushing further and further to see what they can get away with. At a time when Britain needs strong and decisive leadership, we have a Prime Minister who is too afraid of making the wrong decision, too afraid to make any decision at all. Last week's by-election has spooked the Labour Party. They watched the Greens campaigning on sectarian voting lines, a tactic that Labour used for many years is now being turned against them. And now, Keir Starmer is too scared to make foreign interventions for fear of upsetting a tiny section of that electorate. Everyone remembers the mistakes of the Iraq War. Nobody sensible is suggesting that we should drop bombs without a second thought. But Keir Starmer spent days consulting lawyers, plucking up the courage to say whose side he was on. Canada and Australia had the moral clarity to do so immediately and unequivocally. And even now, our Prime Minister is sitting on the fence. We are in this war, whether Keir Starmer likes it or not. For too long, Britain has been governed as if it's still the 1990s. Back then, people thought the era of permanent peace, cheap energy, and expanding global trade would go on forever. From 1989 to 2022, defence spending reduced under successive UK governments of all colours. But it's now clear that this era of peace is coming to an end. Labour have no answers to Britain's problems because they think the world is how it used to be, not how it actually is. And where has that money we stopped spending on defence gone? Before the Second World War, 1 in every £7 the government spent went on health and welfare. By last year, it had soared to 1 in every £3. The peace dividend we inherited has been spent, yet Labour are still determined to spend more. What they don't understand is that a welfare state and an NHS are not facts of life. They are products of a strong economy and a strong country. That is the Conservative mantra today. Public services need growth and economic security. We cannot have economic security without national security. If people in Britain cannot go to bed knowing that the country is being defended, then nothing or little else matters. Donald Trump has made it very clear that America is not going to continue to fund NATO's defense of Europe. The world has changed and it is not going back. Britain must start spending 3% of GDP on defense. Every serious person in our military says this. Every serious country in the world is moving that way. But instead of prioritizing defense spending, Labour have chosen to spend yet more money this country does not have on lifting the two-child benefit cap. We introduced that cap because we believe that people claiming benefits should face the same choices when it comes to having children as everyone else. That is just basic fairness. Labour say it's going to lift children out of poverty. Do you know what lifts children out of poverty? Their parents being in work in a growing economy. Right now, those parents are living in a country where unemployment is surging, where the cost of living is increasing because of soaring energy prices. You bring these people out of poverty by fixing these things, not by giving them handouts. Last June, we offered Keir Starmer our support in the national interest to pass welfare cuts so that he could spend more on defence. But he declined. He spends all his time strutting the world stage at summits and international conferences. But the fact is, he's not even strong enough to win a war with his own backbenchers. He is a political hostage, held at the behest of a load of half-rate left-wing MPs, none of whom grasp the seriousness of the world that Britain is now in. While the rest of the world rearms, they are playing student politics. Today's Labour Party is nothing like the patriotic Labour Party of yesteryear. In the 1950s, Nye Bevan warned about Britain not having a nuclear deterrent. He described it as the UK being sent naked into the conference chamber. Well, today it's happening again. We are not deterring missile strikes against our bases. The man who wrote Labour's defence review, Sir Richard Barrons, has said the UK is trapped in a conspiracy of stupidity because politicians aren't willing to make the case for cutting public spending to fund defence. Well, we are willing to make that case. It is Labour that is trapped in a conspiracy of stupidity. That's why yesterday I announced that the next Conservative government would reinstate the two-child benefit cap and spend that money on defence. That money will pay for the largest net increase in British troops under any Prime Minister since the Second World War. I have chosen my priority, and that is to keep British families safe. These reinforcements will join thousands of brave servicemen and women, and I want to pay tribute to them for everything they do for our country, day in, day out. This is another down payment on our way to 3%, along with our Sovereign Defence Fund, which says no to Ed Miliband's vanity net zero projects and reallocates £17 billion into defence instead. As Rachel Reeves stood up to speak at the Spring Statement this week, oil and gas prices around the world were spiking. Price rises that have already made it more expensive to fill up your car and will very soon hit your energy bills too. The UK only has enough gas storage to last for 2 weeks. Mark my words, a price shock is coming. And when it does, it won't just hit our pockets, it will have a huge impact on Britain's borrowing costs too. Mortgage rates are already going up, and it will make everything government does more expensive. Yet in that statement, Rachel Reeves had nothing to say about the financial risk we now face. Do you know what her excuse was? The OBR documents had already gone to the printers. Does she really think investors are going to say, okay, fair enough? Rachel Reeves is astonishingly naive. While she claims to be providing stability, Britain is paying more to borrow than Greece, more than Morocco. Investors have no faith in her to balance the books. They can see that she is not willing and not able to cut Britain's debt. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a frightening number of people in our politics, on the Labour benches, in the Greens and the Lib Dems, who genuinely think that His Majesty's government doesn't need to pay its debts. These silly people are either too young to remember the 1970s or too foolish to have learned the lessons. Well, let me tell them, if we do not cut borrowing, Britain will go bankrupt. There is only one party interested in preventing that, and that's the Conservatives.